Howdy YouTube. We're hanging a ladder today on Miscellaneous Matt. I have a 32-foot extension ladder that I use twice a year to put the Christmas lights up and to take the Christmas lights down. And the rest of the time, it's sitting on the floor here in the garage and making essentially the entire wall space behind it unusable for anything because it's just too hard to get at. So my plan is to hang it. I got lots of ceiling height out here in the garage. I already have this I-beam here, which tells me the joists are running this way. So I'm gonna grab the stud finder and find two of them, put up some I-hooks and rig up a block and tackle so that this ladder can go up even if I'm not doing it. I know that this lamp is attached to a box, which is attached to a stud under here somewhere. So I'm gonna start the old stud finder out here. Beep. Disco. I have 5/16 diameter I-hooks that I'm gonna put in here, which means by all rights I should be drilling a 1/4 inch pilot hole. I like to go one size smaller just to make sure they stay good and tight. With a 7/32 bit in the drill. And with your favorite screwdriver, even the most stubborn I-hook will go right in. 9 3/4 inches, we'll lather, rinse, repeat on the other side. The magic part of this is what's known as a block and tackle. I've got two double pulleys here, which is complete overkill for an extension ladder, but I happen to have these pulleys laying around. I picked them up at a garage sale just years ago. The idea of a block and tackle is that your rope goes around the pulleys at the top, then around the pulleys at the bottom, top, bottom, and then is finally anchored back at the top. Why do you want to do that? Well, what that does is it essentially multiplies the force you're putting on the rope. You've got 4 strands of rope here that all have to move in order for this bottom pulley to come up. So when you pull with, say, 10 pounds of force on the rope, each one of these 4 ropes has 10 pounds of force on it. It's the equivalent of 40 pounds of pull down here. The trade-off for this is that you have to pull 4 times as much rope. You have to pull that 10 pounds, 4 times to get the same distance moved. So it's not truly magic, but it will end up making the ladder essentially, a 1/4 the weight feel on the rope that it would have otherwise been. So if my wife has to get it up and down, or an elderly neighbor or something wants to come and borrow the ladder, we're still going to be in good shape. I have my pulleys all ready to go, but I need some way to attach the pulleys to the ladder that is relatively easy to work and is removable. Someday I'm probably going to make metal brackets that the ladder will sit on, this will hook to, and that will allow me to pull the ladder all the way up to the ceiling. For right now, I just have a heavier piece of rope. The rope that goes around the pulleys is 100-pound working load limit, which is a little bit light duty for this on its own, but I have 4 strands connecting the ladder to the I-hook in the ceiling, so it's fine going around here. Going around the actual ladder though, I only have this one piece, and in fact, it's gonna pull at an angle, so the load will be increased. I just took a heavier rope here. I tied it onto my pulley with the ye old clinch knot. Those of you who fish know exactly what that is. And I left myself enough rope that it wraps around the ladder completely and hooks onto the block and tackle. When I hook this up, I do want to wind the rope around pretty evenly so that the pulley ends up roughly, at least, in the middle of the ladder. That way it doesn't tip too much left or right as it's going up. Well, YouTube, if you can forgive the junk in the background, I'm betting a lot of your garages look like this too. There's a shelving project in here someday. Anyway, today's the ladder and we're ready. I've got the straps wrapped around the ladder, pretty well centered so that it won't tip too much as it goes up. I made sure that all my pulleys are in a nice, pretty, straight line, that the cord isn't all twisted around itself, so it should be fairly easy to pull. Only one way to find out. Well, YouTube, she's up. What can I tell you? Nice to have that thing out of the way. One of these days, I'm probably going to make some actual cradles. Instead of the rope that goes around the ladder, I could probably have the block and tackle attach here where the horizontal rope is, and I could get as much as a foot higher on that ladder. So that sounds like a welding project to me. Maybe there'll be a part 2 for this someday, but for right now, it is 6 degrees outside, and I really want to get a car in the garage. So stay safe, stay warm. Catch you next time, YouTube.